welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley and I am the owner of the Nickel Rose Stationery Collection here in Florida. So today is my very first video for this channel, so I'm a little nervous. You all just kind of, go with me on the flow. So today's video, I'm just basically going over my very first market event, which was a week ago. So the market was at Market Marie, and I just wanted to talk about my experience at the market and do my very first market, and also just some tips and tricks, for you if you are also looking into, doing your very first market. Okay, so first, let's start with, I toured Market Marie like a month ago before I even signed up for the event. So I think that's a very good tip. First, check it out. Go there, see if it's the vibe that you want for your business. If you feel like it's going to be enough traffic, definitely check it out first before you sign up to be a vendor. So we went like a month ago, like I just said, and it felt great for my vibe. It was enough people to where I didn't feel like overwhelmed, but it was still enough where I knew I could make my money back. Okay, so the experience, so they sent us information about where we're going to be set up, like that Thursday before the event. So this was actually on a Friday. The event was on a Friday, and it's a nighttime event as well. So we got there at 3 o'clock. That's when setup started, and I'm going to insert some videos as well. Hi, good afternoon everyone. This is Ashley from the Nickel Rose Stationery, and we're so excited because we are on our way to our very first market event. That's my husband. He's helping me pack. Like, we have all the stuff in the back of our Jeep, and so we're just really excited. Like I said, it's with Market Elaine. We will be there from 5 to 9 p.m. today, and this is just the beginning. We have more markets in store. Then we also have a convention on June the 1st through the 3rd. More information on that. But today I'm going to give you behind the scene look of the process of us setting up the tent, and just how everything went. Today is our first market, so we're just going for that experience, that promotion, get our name out there, and then just trust in God. Thank you. And so from 3 until like 4:45ish, that was the amount of time that we was allowed to prepare and to set up. Hi everyone, so we are back. We are at Market Elaine here in Florida. We just got finished setting up, and so now I'm heading back to our booth. I'm gonna give you all like a little look through. So we're at the market. And here's my little booth right over here. It's kind of cool when you first walk in. Got the booth. Alright, so we got a little sign right there. It's so hot and sunny. Very dangerous. And then from there, we just took different orders, and it was a really good experience. It was good to see the customers face to face versus just selling online. And so it was a completely different experience, but it was a good experience. So I'm really excited that we went out there. And one thing that I learned is that what may be your best seller online may not be your best seller at a market. Is a completely different vibe. But I still say bring everything that you offer, because you never know what may be your best seller at the market. Moving a little bit into the tips, because like I said, the experience is pretty good overall. The only negative part was the things that I didn't account for. Like, one of my lights stopped working. And so that's another thing, you know, make sure you carry extra batteries, or if you carry, I mean, not if, you should carry extra lights, you know, different things like that. And become friends with the vendor that's beside you or in front of you. Making friends is another great tip, because the vendor that was in front of us, they were a veteran. And so they had like 20 lights, and I don't know, that's an exaggeration. But they had a lot of lights, and so they gave us some, you know, to replace the one that started working for me. And then, you know, from there we just had a really good friendship. We talked, we bought stuff from each other. So definitely making friends is a very good tip, you know, at your very first market. You know, just talk, you know, just see how long someone's been doing something, because you never know, you can learn from the people that's beside you. And then I want to discuss branding. So when I went to visit the market like a month ago, I noticed that some stations, well, some vendors wasn't really branded. And what I mean by, you know, they didn't really have business cards or signage, or when you look at their table, it didn't have a name. So you want to make sure you have your name out front and center. And when people come to your booth, they know exactly what they're getting and what you're offering, you know, the type of thing. So that's, you know, make sure you brand everything. Like I even had like this little sign. I got this tip from a YouTuber here. I'm gonna have to post her. But basically just a QR code where you can find my information, different links, and then just let you know just a little bit more about us and where we're located if you want to find us. And then I also had like my price list of all the items. And then I also make sure I brand everything by color. So my business is like pink, white, and black. So I made sure my table had everything that was with my business colors. And it's funny because I had several customers that came to my table only because it was so beautiful that it enticed them to come into my table. I had several people to come. I just wanted you to know that your table is just so beautiful. It's so inviting. So people do notice those things, and they do appreciate those things. So definitely make sure you are branded and your stuff is flowing, because if you were to walk into a real store or a retail business, what vibe do you want to give off? That's basically the feel. Like, what vibe, you know. Course, you know, you're going to have your typical, when it comes to your setup, you're going to have your typical, you know, tablecloth, your chairs, your tables, you know, your business cards, and your different displays. Like I'm going to insert, I was looking for a display board, but I forgot I'm going to insert pictures. So I'm going to insert pictures of how my display looked. And of course, everyone's display is going to be different based on what you sell. So like I said, I'm a stationery business. So I have cards, notebooks, calendars, those type of deals. So I made sure to have stands that gave different levels, so it takes the customer eye on a journey. You know, you don't want to have everything just laid flat on the table, because you know you want to make it more presentable, make it more enticing. And that's exactly what I did, and how I was able to attract customers by just the way my stand looked. And then also think about the extra things that you may need outside of tablecloths and banners and stuff like that. For example, I had this little thing right here, and so this is full of trash bags, scissors, extra batteries, zip ties. I even have a second card reader, and which is going to lead us to the next point. But before we do, just make sure you have every little thing that you could possibly need, because if you're driving like 45 minutes or an hour away, you can't easily go back home. So it's just good to have this little box or whatever you want, you know, to bring in. And I know I mentioned zip ties. I also have what's it called? Love some chewing gum. I also have magnets. So the great thing about magnets, I know if you see some people banners, they have like the little cords tied up on the ends. If you use magnets, you could just stick it on both sides. Make sure they're strong though, so they can keep your banner up and sticking to the back of your tent, if you have like a backdrop for the back of the tent. If not, of course, you know, you're going to use your rope or cords wherever you decide. But that's just a little tip. And then next, is going into what form of payment will you accept. If I'm looking down, I have my little note right here. But what form of payment will you accept? So I mentioned earlier that I have a card reader. So this is from Shopify. This one you can tap, you can insert the card, and you can also swipe it on the back. So this was pretty good. This was like $45 to $48 with shipping, but it was really beneficial. It streamlined my process. But I also had a money bag, just a simple money bag that I got from Amazon, and we had like $100 in change, you know, 20, 10s, ones, so on and so forth. Because just in case people don't have a card, you want to make sure you have an option to accept their payment. And this was really helpful because we had like half of my profit was in cash and the other half was in card. So just make sure you have that option. And then be discreet. Be discreet. You know, you can see that as like a simple black bag, and but it's very discreet. Like I could tuck it away and nobody would know. I know a lot of people have these big old cash register type deals that have, you know, the locks and stuff, and you could tie it down to your table. But in reality, I feel like that's like a sore thumb. Like, hey, this is where my money is. You know, but this little black bag, I could tuck it away and it's out of sight, out of mind. Well, not out of mind, but out of sight. And you will have to really be looking hard in order to find it versus having a big old money box sitting out. So, a little tip thing. So just make sure, you know, you have all your things set up and know how to work your card reader. You know, so that way if you have an issue, you're not flipping through your tips and your how-to books trying to figure out what's wrong with your card reader. And because like my husband is a co-owner, so we actually worked it out before we got started. I taught, you know, we did like a little lesson like how to refund people, how to take payments. You know, we did a whole practice session before we went out there. And even with the practice session, the card reader still messed up. Like it wouldn't wake up for nothing. And I don't know what happened, but we was able to do manual payments because it wasn't working at that time, and it was charged, it just stopped working. But once I figured out how to wake the card reader, it was back like there was no problems. But just make sure you know how to work it, and you can, you know, troubleshoot anything that may happen. And then also, I know I mentioned this earlier, but make sure you have like a portable power station, because like I said, the last charger that we had, it stopped working, and this was a nighttime event. And so everything that we had plugged in, like our license, everything wasn't working. But thankfully we were friends with a next door vendor, like I mentioned earlier, and they gave us lights to help, you know, light up the booth. But having a portable having a portable charger station is a great thing to have, not just to charge your stuff, but to power your lights and to just make sure you have everything you need to be successful. So those little things. I'm not sure if I already mentioned, you know, have tape, scissors, zip ties, batteries, paper towels, wipes, extra cards, everything in there. Because you never know, because something crazy may happen, like we had to have it. So just good to be prepared. And then just last thing, you know, after you brand everything, you know, you could even do like a sign-up sheet. Like I just printed this out, so you know, have like a little sign-up sheet, so you can increase your marketing, you know, take some emails down. So I was actually pretty bad at that because I was nervous. So my camera just died. That's a sign. But anyway, there's like portable little cards that you can have versus having business cards, and people can just get it, tap it, and they have all your information. So that's another way to go for it. But if you're trying to be cost effective and not spend so much money on your first market, just doing something simple like the QR code that I showed earlier is another way of doing the same thing. They could just scan it. And then you can also do I forgot to mention this with your payment, scan to pay as well. You know, if you're doing PayPal or Square or wherever, however you want to take your payments, you know, it's good to have that out front, and they can scan it and they can pay you that way. Anyway, I'm about to shut this video off because I don't want it to be too long. But if you all have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And then I'm going to tag the veteran. I can't think of his name right now, but there's a YouTuber who has been doing markets for 20 plus years, and I got majority of my tips and tricks off of his page, as well as googling online and just doing research on my own. But his video goes way into detail about some other things that you can use to help you with your markets. Alright, so my memory card is full, so I'm going to have to cut this video short. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll do my best to create more content for this channel. Just stay posted. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and TikTok. And just feel free to follow us.